Netease just released their newest game, Lostlight, and while it might seem at first like just another first-person shooter, it is actually very clearly a survival game. LifeAfter has been Netease's top survival game for the phone, so in this video I'm going to compare the two games. Lostlight is amazing and it's new, and it's not just a new game, it's also a new refreshing concept for the first-person shooter genre, which is impressive because we've been seeing a lot of battle royale. LifeAfter, on the other hand, is one of the best games I have ever played, giving me some of the most bonding experiences I have ever had with guildmates. So this video is going to be a hard comparison, but I'm excited about it nonetheless. The first category of comparison is graphics. This is a really difficult one for me to choose from, mainly because Netease use similar graphics for both of them. They have very similar pixel ratios, the quality of the scenery, the quality of the guns, and all of those things are very similar. Lostlight might be a little bit more crisp than LifeAfter and some of the guns and some of the scenery, but LifeAfter has a lot more content. When you look at the buildings in LifeAfter and all the things that you can create, and you consider all of that content, all of which has amazing graphics, I think I'm gonna have to give this win over to LifeAfter. But like I said, they're both Netease games, and Netease used very similar graphics engines, if not the exact same one. And Lostlight might even just be a little bit better, but if it is, it's better in a little bit. Whereas even if LifeAfter is less, which I'm not saying that it is, but if it is still impressive that it is so similar in so much more. The second category is long-term fun. This is another tough one because Lostlight is new, and new is exciting. If you've already played LifeAfter, then obviously Lostlight is going to be a lot more fun, but LifeAfter has a lot more content. In fact, I've been refreshing myself on the game since I quit a year and a half ago, and it is amazing to see how much more content LifeAfter has added even since I've left. That being said, Lostlight is fun just because of the basic building blocks. It is a map with players, and you never really know what you're going to get. There is obviously some of that in LifeAfter as you interact with players, but Lostlight will have that long-term fun, kind of like a battle royale game. It has the basic elements, and you have those objectives, and every time you play will be a little bit different with different people you're fighting against. So while I am giving this category to LifeAfter just because it has so much more content, I do need to mention that if you're really into first-person shooters, Lostlight is going to be more fun than, let's say, the arena battles in LifeAfter. The third category is storyline. Neither of these games are that great in this area, but Lostlight does seem to have a little bit more of a storyline. Honestly, I kind of clicked through the storyline on both games because I just want the next quest, and as I mentioned earlier, neither of these games are great in this area, but it does feel like Lostlight's storyline is a little bit more congruent, or at least a little bit more orderly, which is why I ended up giving it, but I can't emphasize enough how both of these games are not great in this area. The fourth category is how friendly the game is to free-to-play players. This one is also a little bit tricky. I think it is a win for Lostlight in the sense that if you are a good player and you play hard, you have more of potential of growing in Lostlight and advancing in Lostlight, whereas you're going to hit a cap with LifeAfter trying to compete with the other people that are spending more or spending more time. Basically, talent doesn't get you as far in LifeAfter as it does in Lostlight. That being said, if you are bad at Lostlight, you could lose everything a million times, which would obviously cost you a lot more. Now, one thing that is really important to note is that you can't actually spend money in Lostlight, so obviously it should definitely win in this area, but I'm factoring in what I already know about Netease. Netease is not one to give out a free game. They're gonna find a way to monetize it, and in my opinion, Netease is one of the most creative companies on how to monetize things. Some people don't like that because their creativity can trick them into spending thousands of dollars on a Netease game just because they keep going and they get so motivated to keep spinning and keep growing and keep doing more. But as someone with a family that has to stick to a budget and not quite as prone to spend emotionally, Netease games are amazing for me. The way they monetize their games are intuitive and clever, and they are always mindful of what is fun for a free-to-play player. Even if you're not going to have the advantage, they will make sure that you have a fun experience. So while this might be controversial, I kind of like Netease's monetization system. And specifically with Lostlight, if they add any way of getting weapons or armor or any of that stuff, then a free-to-play player can kill those pay-to-win players and take their stuff, thus making it really beneficial for the free-to-play player. The fifth category of comparison is the grind. This is a clear win for Lostlight. Even though Lostlight is a survival game, it often feels like a first-person shooter. You get in, you play the map, you get done, you're done with that match. There's not any daily quests or things you have to get done with your guild each week. It's pretty much limited to just doing those matches. Now that being said, it can be incredibly addicting. When you get out of that zone and you bring in all that loot and you put it home, it's this huge endorphin rush and you want to do it again. And if you die, it's infuriating and you don't want to quit on a lose. So you want to do it again and again. And every time you win, you want to do more. And every time you lose, you can't quit because you want to end on a win. But then the win makes you want to keep playing. So it's incredibly addicting and you could play for a very long time. But as far as what the game requires of you to succeed, the grind is very small. The sixth category is multiplayer. This is a difficult one to choose because obviously Lostlight is always multiplayer. Everything is multiplayer, but most of it is PvP. There's not a lot of co-op play. There are some cool concepts like reviving someone you just killed and having them join your team. And you can play with a duo, but there's no 4-man teams and you really are limited to one type of game style. Whereas in LifeAfter, you've got arena battles, you got your camp boss, you got defending the base, you got Charlestown, you got all this different stuff, and there's a huge diversity of multiplayer type events. So again, if you're really into first-person shooters and you are excited about the idea of making it into a survival game but keeping the first-person shooter feel, you're gonna have more fun with Lostlight. But other than that, there's gonna be a lot more diversity in LifeAfter. And then the last category we are comparing is potential. This is, in my opinion, a clear win for Lostlight. LifeAfter is an amazing game. In fact, it's one of my favorite games, but it has already been around for a while. It has explored a lot of its potential and it has been able to mature as a game, and we've been able to enjoy it in its fullness and its glory. Lostlight, on the other hand, is something completely new, and it's really refreshing to the first-person shooter genre because we've had lots of things, terrorist versus anti-terrorist, we've had battle royale, we've had zones, we've had all of these things, but a lot of the first-person shooter genre has been kind of repetitive. We've kind of done a lot of the same things. This feels new and refreshing. It is a way of keeping the first-person shooter feel where you do a match at a time, but it also gives you that feel of a survival game and trying to gain more resources and the frustration of losing everything when you make a mistake. It is an incredible concept and I'm really excited to see where it goes. Well, that's it guys, hope that helps. If you like this video and how I think about games, make sure to check out my playlist on the top 10 mobile games of 2021. Alright guys, I'll see you next time.